What's up, live stream, maybe. I don't know. I haven't got a tweet yet, have I?
They don't get a notification until like a minute and a half in.
There it is. That was 56, so today's 57.
I might be able to just wait. No, I'm on my account right now.
We'll be getting started here in just a sec.
So wait, what are we talking about? The same things we talk about every week. Because I haven't been on in a hot minute. Jesus.
So we'll start off with the What's Up segment is what it's called, and that's just like our intro.
You need to go into OBS and make it so this isn't like you have a desktop view on.
That's the only option I have.
Well, are you wanting to have that on?
I just needed to change this.
I know, but like,
or no, I guess you're right. No, that's not what I meant to have on. I want just the webcam.
yeah, window capture, make the eyeball off. That was because of me, because I had the window capture of the golf.
Got it. Alright, so we're there and our audio's there. Let's do an audio test here. Ready, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Test, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Testing.
Microphone test 1 2 1 2.
Well, that certainly did not work.
I believe we didn't speak.
You have the audio as speakers. You have the input as speakers.
So
Realtek audio USB.
This guy right here.
No, you need
Microphone.
yeah. Now I'll do it.
Let's test again. Test.
Testing.
Test microphone.
Let's test again. Test.
Testing.
Test microphone.
I hate that we're all so far away from it. It sounds so terrible when you're just 3 inches away from it.
Well, that's the best we can do. We don't have a whole crazy 15 microphone setup, so
Just be aware that when you're talking, just try to come in closer to it. Just do this the whole time, if possible. Okay?
Okay.
So our first... oh, wait, hold on. I gotta tweet that out. So our first segment, we record in separate segments.
One thing that I found out you can do, because I don't use OBS, I use Streamlabs OBS, and you can link your Twitter, and it'll like automatically tweet out through Streamlabs.
Gotcha.
It's kind of cool.
We'll get to that at another time.
Which means
so what's
never.
up segment, and then we wrap that segment up, and then we'll start the next one, and that's going to be us talking about just live streams and stuff. I think that's our main event, and then we'll do another segment after that I don't know what we'll talk about yet.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Just make sure you talk real loud and lean in and whatnot.
Okay.
Cool.
Mhm.
Everything look good on there.
yeah. Where is the volume? It's so annoying. The second I do that, it buffers.
That's all right. All right, ready?
I'm trying to make sure it's all right. The second I do that, it buffers. Yeah,
That's all right.
it's fine.
Cool. All right, ready?
Yes. Sorry.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation, episode 57. I'm Brandon.
I'm Lane.
And I'm Tyler.
Tyler's here with us today. What's up, Tyler?
Not a whole lot.
How you been since the last time we talked on Howdy Radio? The last time I talked to Tyler was when he was on Howdy Radio. I haven't talked to him since then.
That's very true. I've been all right. Little bored recently.
Yeah. When was the last time you were on Howdy Radio?
I genuinely can't remember.
Was it?
There's probably an in-between when we did the Disney one and this one.
I don't remember
so that's
one.
sometime in between there. I've been
Maybe the Horror Hound episode we did last year together. We
Yeah.
did
That was a while ago. I feel like that
It was a year ago. 'Cause Horror Hound was supposed to just happen.
Yeah.
I feel like, but we definitely did have something in between that.
I don't remember. Alright, so unfortunately we didn't get to do a Horror Hound episode this year since it got canceled. I mean, that's not why we've got Tyler on the show. I just figured, let's just get Tyler on the show. How you been, Tyler?
I'm pretty good. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Have you been on any other podcast or anything since the last podcast you've done with us?
Nope, I am the Next Generation exclusive.
Ooh, that's pretty nice. Alright, do we have to pay you extra for that?
Maybe like 50 cents,
Oh.
just to cover how much gas costs now.
Gotcha. Gas is... Oh, yeah, because it's cheaper, pretty much, right? One of my friends at work got gas for 88 cents the other day.
That's ridiculous.
You guys realize that the cost of gas right now is like negative $37?
Because what?
Earlier in the week, the price of a barrel of gas, and this is like unprecedented, like never happened in like current times, a gallon of gas is worth negative $37.
In a row?
In a row. There is so much excess gas that it's like the equivalent of you going to UDF filling up and they give you money because they want to get rid of it.
Well, all right then.
Now, of course, that savings will never be passed on to us, although gas is going down a little bit, but that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, other than gas prices, what else has been going on? What have you guys been doing in your quarantine time over the last week or two since we last did a show?
Been playing a bunch of video games with friends.
What are you playing?
A lot of GTA and Minecraft.
GTA and Minecraft.
And Uno sprinkled in there.
Isn't Minecraft like so 10 years ago?
11 years ago, but yes. I mean, it's just one of those games that like just genuinely you can't get bored of it because like I don't know, there's just something about it that like it can't age. Like Fortnite was like it was cool for a hot second, but then like after a while you do things that changes the game and people start to dislike it. But Minecraft, the fundamentals of it is you walk on squares. I don't know how you can ruin that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not any like game-changing mechanics that ruins the way you play the
You can't
game.
create a new map like Fortnite did. It's just you
Yeah.
just spawn in and you just do whatever you want.
Like the only like big updates on Minecraft is like now you have bees instead of like now there's this new gun that is like one shot and it's impossible to counter or anything like that. So
All right. What about you, Lane? Have you been playing anything different or just Rocket League?
I've also been playing a little bit of Uno, which I got Uno Flip and the Rayman one. Those things are like on crack. It's crazy.
yes.
I've been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Valorant recently, which is a closed beta game that everybody's kind of playing right now.
Cool.
And then also Rocket League, which
cool.
I finally got champ this week.
Oh, good.
So that's actually kind of cool.
Good. Nice job, champ.
Yeah, mommy's little champ.
Cool. I've been playing Animal Crossing some more, and I got stuck on Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I haven't played it in a couple days.
Nice.
That's about it. I got new controllers for our Switch. Our Switch has had terrible drifting problems for a long time now, and I started playing Animal Crossing every day, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I finally bought new controllers.
I need to start playing Animal Crossing again because that was the reason why I walked away from it. Because like you tried to do very basic tasks and your character was like, nope, we're just gonna walk away now.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. But it's good to go now. You need to get in there and tidy up your little area there. You do, Tyler.
Me tidying up was just deleting everything that had my name on it.
Yeah, Lane got rid of his house because he said he wasn't going to play it again. So I'm like, well, get rid of your house. And I've now turned it into a money tree forest. So the space was put to very good use.
Okay.
So at least you know that. Cool. So
If I would have came back and I would have just made a bunch of turnips everywhere, I would have been mad.
There's turnips all over my island right now.
My goodness.
Turnips suck. So, I mean, turnips are fun because of, if you don't know how they work, you can buy them only on Sunday mornings, and then you can sell them throughout the week, and the price changes twice a day throughout the week. So the goal is to find a higher price than what you paid for them, sell them, make a bunch of money. The crappy thing about turnips is that like you have the storage built into your house, but you can't put turnips in that. You have to just like drop them, and they're just laying on the floor or on the ground. So I had to make 3 trips to Dave's Island today because he had the best prices on turnips. And as I come back, I just walk onto my island and just drop them as soon as I get there. And last week, that's where they all sat until I took them somewhere to sell them.
Huh.
So it's kind of a pain. I hate.
Are they planted or are they just like
They're
dropped
just
there?
sitting there.
You should at least plant
Are you
them.
able to plant them?
No, you cannot. No, I accidentally ate 10 of them earlier, and that it fills up your like health bar thing, but it's a really expensive way to fill up your health bar instead of just grabbing 10 apples off the tree.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
Have you guys been like watching anything?
So we'll get to watching here in a few minutes. Our main thing that we're going to talk about today is all these different bands and all this stuff that keep doing different live streams during the quarantine times that we're in, and we've watched a couple of them, and I thought we'd talk about a couple of them. That's going to be our main topic for today. So we'll get there in a minute. And I don't think we really have anything other than that to talk about, so we'll just be winging it for most of the show.
Yeah.
But not including like live streams or whatever as far as TV goes. No, I haven't really been watching anything out of the ordinary. We've been watching Step by Step, the old 90s sitcom, during dinner for the last couple weeks. The kids, I mean, I guess you guys should talk about it instead of me. It was something I was a big fan of that show when it was on when I was a kid. I always liked it a lot. And then I just started going through some of those old 90s shows during dinner one night, and I was like, you know, we could watch Step by Step, we could watch Family Matters, we could watch, there was a couple others, and we kind of did watch through a few different ones, and I think the kids were definitely into Step by Step more so than any of the other shows. So why is that?
It's kind of different. I only watch like the Full House kind of things. Like I love Full House a lot, but Step by Step is definitely like a riskier and more appropriate for an 18-year-old Full House.
Okay.
It's
Like
definitely
if
it's
Full House
definitely
made
for
more like teenager related episodes.
There's
It would
sex
be
jokes
Step by
and
Step.
stuff
Yeah.
like that, yeah. See, I'm not even and I watched the show when it was on. I don't remember what year it came out, but so I don't remember how old I was when I started watching it, but I didn't have any memory of like it being more of a PG-13 version of Full House. Like I didn't remember that, but like as I watch it now, I definitely noticed that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they'd never make that joke on Full House or whatever. So it was a little different than that.
Yeah.
Or even like now, like even on like the same platform as if it was like projected to be a PG-13 kind of thing. I still feel like even some of the jokes are just like
well, there's a lot of jokes they wouldn't be allowed to say now because they're bad women jokes or
there
just
was the entire episode where his older friend was going to commit suicide, and if that goes on TV now, that
was one of the funniest episodes.
That was amazing.
It was a funny suicide episode, and no, you cannot make a funny suicide episode in 2020. So
nor put those two words together.
And like the whole episode, we were like, "Yep, can't say that."
But
now.
you guys dig that though, like being 2020 kids that you are. Aren't you supposed to be all like, this is not funny, you cannot make those jokes? Isn't that how we're supposed to be now?
I don't know if you're in the same boat, but I definitely have a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I
we
find
all do.
like, I mean,
I'm
do I
just picking your
support
brain
people
here.
in suicide?
Yeah, it's
no,
like-
but like suicide-based jokes on a sitcom, I find them funny.
Okay. Right on.
But I finished Better Call Saul, and the season finally ended. So now I gotta wait like 15 years for the last season. So
Gotcha. That's something I'm really wanting to watch, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on starting it up yet.
But and then I also started watching a little bit of Westworld on HBO. Shows are so weird. It's so.
I don't know anything about that show at all.
It is. You wouldn't like it. It's like really like sci-fi, like nerdy kind of thing, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Speaking of that, I've slowly started to watch some Star Trek with
I
Mama.
shouldn't have said anything.
I mean, it's not like a huge talking point. It was just
I know, but you
That's
said
just
the
one of
word
the
Star
shows.
Trek on our
Yeah.
show.
my bad.
You're not exclusive. You're fired.
Yeah, I never got into Star Trek. That's not my thing.
I think it's just as topical as Step by Step is sometimes.
Yeah.
And I kind of like shows that just like topical, but like it like doesn't age badly. Like the topic is like still relevant right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Step by Step, I don't feel, I mean, even though it is a very 90s show, like it's not, I don't feel like it's aged badly though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And like even when like it's very predictable, like there was one episode where like she was driving and she shouldn't have, and she like hit the car into the house,
Yeah.
and then like
of course she wrecked the house, of course she got called, of course she got in trouble. And
but it was like before the scene started, I was like, he's gonna open or close the door, and this door is gonna like fly off or something. And then he closes the door, and the thing like falls off. I was like, I knew it, but it's still like really entertaining.
Sometimes
even
that's
though
the best part, is to like know what's gonna happen, and whether you know it's gonna happen or not, to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
And, like, just experiencing it.
Yeah.
Is just as good.
Yeah.
Cool. I would have started the show from the beginning if I know that we were going to sit there and watch it every night with dinner, because I just like randomly clicked an episode somewhere in the series at one point to just be like, hey, check this out. And that was like season 3 or 4 or something, and now we've just kept going from that spot. So you guys have missed the total, like, you know, early part of the show. So I don't know, maybe go back and watch it later, or maybe we start, I don't know.
How many seasons are there?
5 or 6 maybe, I'm not 100% sure. It was a pretty successful show when it was on. I think it was a part of the TGIF lineup on Friday nights. Have you guys heard of that at all?
Guessing the mainstream shows on Friday, the sitcoms on Friday.
Yeah, it was like a 2-hour block of those type shows on Friday nights that was a pretty popular time. Now Friday nights is where shows go to die, basically. But this one was a Friday night. It was like Family Matters, Step by Step, and probably a couple of the other ones that we checked out during this time. I don't remember what else it was, though.
Yeah.
They changed in and out every once in a while.
Yeah.
It was cool to sit down on Friday night and watch those shows.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we got anything else, or we want to just go ahead and get into the whole what's been going on in the live streaming world?
I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything either.
Let's do it.
I think the only live stream I've seen was the Post Malone one.
And the Puddle of Mud one.
Oh, yeah.
I need somebody to have the audio ready to roll of that so we can play it into the microphone.
Do the compilation of just the really, really bad parts.
Can you send it to
that's
me?
the best part, is like, you think it's gonna like dial it back, and then it just cuts to the next clip.
Yeah, can you send that to me,
The
Dad?
only way I know to find it is on Facebook.
Didn't he send it to
Buddy
you?
Adam sent it, or posted it, and I can just scroll through his and find it on his.
I need to get this money in the bank at some point. Got like $200 in cash. That check was $164.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio.
Speaking of Money in the Bank, you hear that the freaking Money in the Bank matches are gonna be like on top of the building or something stupid like that.
I don't know why you're saying something
I don't know
stupid,
why
because
you keep
wasn't that the
paying
first
attention
one?
to WWE News is my biggest thing. Just stop.
Wait, what did you say?
Isn't that what they did the very first time? I thought I saw something on Instagram that was the side-by-side of the premiere of the pay-per-view and the trailer that just now happened for like what it's going to be.
All right.
Okay, yeah, because I can't. Yeah.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was at WrestleMania the first time Money in the Bank happened.
Oh, I thought it was a pay-per-view.
It is pay per view now.
Ready?
It used to be at WrestleMania.
Ready?
Yes.
All right, so one cool thing that's happened because of all of this coronavirus quarantine situation that we're all living in now is that all kinds of bands, and I mean not just bands, but just like a bunch of Hollywood people just in general, famous people in general, everybody's doing live streams now. That's like the big thing, right? Is that everybody's doing live streams.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know why bands can't do this when it's not quarantine time. Why does it only have to be a quarantine time thing? And I hope that maybe this kickstarts something that becomes more of a regular thing. Like, why not just play some songs or whatever?
Yeah.
So there's been a few of them here lately. Is there any ones that you guys have watched that have kind of been ones that you would like to talk about? Or we'll get to the funny one here in a few minutes. We have one that is definitely the worst one of them all. And there's no arguing over that. It's fact that it is the worst one of them all. So, any ones that you guys have watched that you've liked so far?
Post Malone did one a couple days ago on Friday. It was a Nirvana tribute, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, because I said something before that was like, I want to go to his house because his house looks so freaking cool.
Well,
and then,
of course.
but then you were like, that's what they're all trying to do. They're like, oh, look at my cool house, but like his house is like really cool.
Yeah, the bar and everything behind him.
Yeah,
He's got a
it
lot
was
of money.
super cool.
So yeah, I am not a Post Malone fan. He seems like a pretty cool guy,
Yeah.
like just as a person. I'm not a big fan of his music. It's just not my style. But I thought the Nirvana show that he did was awesome. I thought it was really good. From start to finish, it was very good. It had Travis Barker on drums. He's the drummer of Blink-182, who I do not like Blink-182 whatsoever, but I love Travis Barker. I think he's a fantastic drummer, and he's very similar.
Is he in anything else that you would know him that would make you actually like him? Because you...
So he did, my favorite thing that he did was, I think it was, I don't know if Blink-182 was still a thing at this time or not, but it was like maybe around 2005 or so. He did like a supergroup style album with the singer of Rancid was the singer and guitarist. Travis Barker played drums on that.
Okay.
It was called The Transplants. It was like a punk rock album.
Is that similar like them Crooked Vultures?
Yeah.
Like how that band exists?
Yeah, very similar, yeah. And that's my favorite album that Travis Barker has put out. I like that. And they put out a couple albums, and they were really good. I don't really know anything else that Travis Barker has done personally. But he's a good drummer. And he's very similar in style as to like how Dave Grohl was back when he played with Nirvana. So I thought it was a really good fit for them to choose him to be the drummer. I didn't know the guy that was playing bass. I'm not sure who he was.
I think that's his guitarist and bass that he has like on tour.
At one point during the live stream, Chris Novoselic started watching. He is the bass player of Nirvana. So Post Malone made a joke. He's like, "Oh, Chris, man, I wish you would have been here earlier. We got stuck with this guy playing bass. We much rather would have had you play." Courtney Love was watching at one point, and they were all like saying how great of a job they were doing, and that's got to feel good from Post Malone's point of view. It's obvious that he's a Nirvana fan.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a greatest hits set. It wasn't just Nevermind. Those songs that, like School from Bleach, which is one of my all-time favorite Nirvana songs. It's not one that people mention a lot, but he played that one. It was awesome. My only problem with the entire thing, and which is not really a problem, obviously Post Malone is sponsored by Gibson guitars. Kurt Cobain never once in his life, I don't know that he ever even owned a Gibson guitar. So to watch he always played Fenders, always. So to watch somebody play a Nirvana show with a Gibson Les Paul around him was a little weird.
Do you have a Fender?
I have a Fender and a Gibson, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I make sure that I have both of them covered. But I'm not in Post Malone's situation where they pay him millions of dollars to use their equipment.
Yeah.
If somebody paid me millions of dollars to use their equipment, I wouldn't have a Fender sitting here either.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a really good show. So kudos to
But it still sounded good and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
It was a little different sound, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to sound identical.
Yeah.
So
I think props on that aspect. Like most times people just try and sound as much like Kurt as possible.
All right, well, let's bring that up then. So there's been some good live streams, and there's also been some really terrible ones. One in particular, I saw a video of the first time I saw it, I didn't know who it was, and they're singing a cover of Nirvana's "About a Girl," and I thought that this band was making fun of Nirvana, making fun of Kurt Cobain and the way that he sings, and then I later learned, like a few hours later, that this is Puddle of Mud, who is like a legitimate rock band that people like, and that blows me away. And we've just got a little bit of that queued up right here so you can hear what it sounds like. That's enough. You got to see the guy's face along with it. That particular version cut out the parts where he was actually not sounding terrible, because when he just sung, he was okay.
Yeah.
And then he tried to do this weird Kurt impression or something, and it made him...
It was probably totally one of those things of like when someone tries to do like a Lisa Simpson impression in their head, they know what they're trying to sound like, so they think that they sound like that. Yeah. But unfortunately, he does not sound at all like Kurt Cobain.
Everybody made fun of him. Everybody said this is the worst thing in the world, rightfully so. And then he had a rebuttal that he said on the radio where he's like, everybody these days is a critic, and unless you're up here doing it, then we don't care what you have to say or whatever.
I mean, that statement alone just claims that you definitely care what people had to say.
So, I mean, I've never been a Puddle of Mud fan. I'm not usually a fan of that genre of music, really. But
Rightfully so. They sing like that.
yeah, that was terrible. So I guess the winner of the week is Post Malone when it comes to live streams. Another good one that's been going on that is, I guess, going to be an every Friday. That's when most of these is on Friday. It seems like that's the go-to day for these live streams. Clutch has done one for the last couple weeks, and they've played like a short 3-song or 4-song set each time. And obviously still trying, they're calling themselves like dinosaurs learning new tricks and stuff because they're old men learning how to work the computer and stuff. So they are still trying to, like, you know, figure it out and make it look good.
Yeah.
And I understand how that works. But that's been fun watching them play. I always have loved Clutch, so it's cool to see them play some songs. They came on the other day and Lane said, that is not what I thought that guy looked like. Like in your head, I guess is what you're saying. You had never seen Neil Fallon of Clutch before.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
What did you expect him to look like?
I don't know.
Big, tall. The guy from Comic Book Men, the guy with the super long white beard. Yeah. That's who I imagined.
That's Neil Fallon in your head?
Holy crap, that is really accurate.
Okay. I feel like they have a somewhat similar look. They both... I mean, Neil's beard is a little bit shorter than it normally is right now.
I feel like if you put his voice on top of the other person, though...
Ryan Johnson, I think
something like
talking
that,
about from Comic Book Men.
Yeah. But I do that stuff all the time. Like if I have watched like a YouTuber for the longest time, and like it's just the gameplay and I can't see their face, like anytime they do a face reveal or something, I try and stay away from that because I have this image in my head of what you look like. Okay. So then I don't know. I don't necessarily think I'm disappointed. But like then it just like shifts. Like I'm just like, wait a second, you look like that. And like, so it throws me off.
Are you disappointed in Clutch now? Or are you like, I can't listen to Clutch because he just looks like a normal guy with a beer belly?
Younger and less redneck than he sounds.
Yeah,
less redneck than he sounds. Yeah. So you think Clutch has like a redneck?
Not necessarily like a redneck sound, but more redneck than
a little bit. Like I think just like a little bit of a
I think
Western kind of like.
I think blues is the word that we're looking for.
Yeah,
Clutch has a very very blues base to them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's more of what you're looking for than redneck. I mean, if you think they sound like rednecks, that's your thing. You can think whatever you want.
I think his voice just sounds
I think the guy from Puddle of Mud sounds more like a redneck than Clutch does.
I think he's like. I think he's.
Jesus.
What else? Clutch has been good.
You've been watching Wussy as well.
Yeah, Wussy. They're a local band here in Cincinnati. They've done a couple of them also on Friday.
Yeah.
Those have been pretty good. Not great quality, but they're not that big of a known band, so I wouldn't expect them to have like the greatest setup in the world. But it's still kind of fun to just sit there and watch. There's been a wrestler, Joey Janela. He's in AEW and all over the indie wrestling world. He's been doing some live streams on Twitch where he just picks a few matches from YouTube and downloads them and puts them on his stream and then just kind of talks over top of them and just kind of talks to the fans in the chat as he's doing it. But I really like the matches that he picks out. He does a great job. I mean, I value Joey Janela's opinion on making a playlist of matches to show on Twitch because he always picks some really cool stuff. Whether it be like an actual like quality wrestling match or something that will just make you laugh hysterically, he does a good job of picking both of those kinds of things.
Like the one where the guy like. So there was Quarantine Mania, which was like...
That's what started this.
Yeah, it was
he
basically...
was supposed to have a big show during WrestleMania weekend that got canceled. Yeah. So instead, he went to Twitch and did Quarantine Mania, but then now he's been doing live streams every weekend.
There was a match on that. It was like the second or third match. It was like a ladder match or something. And I don't think these guys knew what they were signing up for. Because, like, they took one, like, suplex with, like, his back to, like... hit like the top of the ladder, so like he was like folded. I was like, oh no, thank you.
Yeah, there's been some crazy stuff.
Speaking of that ladder stuff, the hit that Darby took when Sammy jumped on him and that ladder didn't give at all, and they just smacked the ladder.
Bounced,
But I think after being exposed to AEW and Joey Janela just as a person, for one, I think I definitely like wrestling a whole lot more than I used to. And also, I thoroughly enjoy comedy wrestling.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Orange Cassidy shows up, and I'm just like, this is better than any main event that
Totally.
Brock Lesnar will
Yeah.
ever be a part of,
Yeah.
or anybody over at the E.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like,
But
I
also
can't- I'm
comedy
waiting for that Orange
wrestlers.
Cassidy Penelope Ford match. That's gonna happen.
But also comedy wrestling doesn't need to be like the wrestlers don't still can be wrestlers. Like Orange Cassidy is a comedic wrestler.
I think
For
Colt
like
Cabana
5
is the epitome
minutes.
of that.
Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
The way that he pins people, where he jumps and then smiles
Yeah.
at the camera, like it's goofy, but he's
Yeah.
still like actively
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah, I think Colt Cabana might kind of be considered the godfather of
Yeah.
comedy wrestling in this current state that we're
Yeah.
in right now. I'm
Except-
wasn't
except
the
he doesn't
fir-
have a
I know
hoe
he's
train.
He wasn't the first to do it, but as far as
Yeah.
current generation wrestling goes, I think he plays a big part in that.
Yeah.
And he played a big part in the whole pro wrestling tees thing, which played a big part in AEW even existing.
Yeah.
Because they were just a t-shirt company for the first year, so if there's no t-shirt company, then they were just a label.
Colt Cabana is a pretty important guy in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
So.
Especially in the creation of AEW and All In and all that kind of stuff.
We got to meet him.
Yep.
We got a picture with him. Go to my Instagram and you'll see it.
Get got.
Tyler wasn't there. He's not in the picture. Or Tyler was there, but he was in his John Cena costume, and that's why we can't see him.
That's true. That's true. Big John Cena fan.
Yep. Any other live streams?
So
This was our main topic, and I think we really only had like two things to talk about.
not exactly a live stream, but
Of
That might happen,
chatter.
but we'll be able to see that in a second once it starts working.
Honestly, this
properly.
works out though, because now you'll know at about 12 minutes 50 seconds. That's gonna have to be a chop.
Stop.
Are you paused?
Okay. Hold on.
live stream, but
Okay, hold on. So here's what we're gonna do. I think we really only have like
just
2
say
things to talk
not
about.
not exactly a live stream.
All right, not exactly a live stream. So when this starts up, you're gonna say, "But Saturday Night Live, whatever."
I still don't understand. Why does it do that?
We need to find out why it does that. It has to be the splitter.
It's either a splitter or a cord. It's somewhere, or it's a power supply issue in the computer. There's about 10 different things that it could be.
I think.
I think it's a power supply issue in the computer. All right, ready? But SNL, right?
Okay. But SNL has been doing because everybody's kind of been doing the at home kind of thing on TV, and SNL has been doing their SNL at home, and everybody's saying like this is the funniest they've been in a long time because they're all just like sitting at home just like thinking of their own kind of things. So like Pete Davidson, he's been doing like songs a lot, and they've been really funny. But Michael Che, who is one of the Weekend Update people, he last night when Saturday Night Live was on, he like got super drunk and was like on Instagram Live like watching it with people. So I thought that was kind of cool. So
I've definitely liked that kind of theme. Like Fallon's doing his own at-home thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We watch John Oliver every week, and he's doing.
Yeah.
He just has a green screen and just a white tarp.
Yeah.
And Fallon
And does
has
stuff.
musical guests I saw too, because a band I like, Churches, just ordered the
Nice.
musical guest. They've played Fallon like a million times. Fallon's obviously a fan because he's had him on the show a million times. But they were the musical guest, I think this past Thursday or something like that. And they, same thing, like theirs was recorded at home and like put together like the same way that Goldfinger video we watched was. And it kind of made for just like its own cool little music video basically. And that's what they played on Fallon. And that was cool.
Nice. And not only just the already occurring talk shows are doing it. John Krasinski does his own Some Good News every weekend or every week.
Yeah.
And what's that all about?
He I haven't been watching the last couple weeks, but he basically just sits there like at his kitchen table, and like his daughter's made a sign in the back that says SGN, and he just does like just updates on the week, how everything's looking, and he tries to be goofy with it. He asks a new person to talk about the weather every week.
Okay.
This week, Brad Pitt just walked outside of his house, was obviously just recording on his phone, and was like, doesn't look half bad, and that's just the end of the segment. That was the weather with Brad Pitt. But John Krasinski's humor is...
Brad Pitt was just on
pretty
SNL. He had a thing on there. Oh, also speaking of Brad Pitt...
I have to check out the Miley Cyrus performance from SNL last night, because everybody's saying that because she covered Pink Floyd "Wish You Were Here," and I guess apparently,
it's such a good song. Why would you
apparently
do
it's
that?
almost like just as bad as the Puddle of Mud one.
Well, but when you said that, I was scrolling on to Instagram, and I saw that, so I went to the comments, and you could tell, like, most people who had, like, guys as their game of picks said, like, oh my god, this was awful, and all the, like, 30-year-old moms were like, oh my god, this was so good. It was just so, like, stereotypical.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my problem, is people decide to do covers of things that I have really high expectations of. Like, you cover Nirvana, and, like, I know Nirvana like the back of my hand, so if you do bad, I'll know, like, in an instant.
Yeah.
If you decide to cover Pink Floyd, you better be ready to, like...
I forgot to put the dog upstairs before we came down here, and then I just saw him a second ago, and I just realized, whoops, I forgot to put the dog in his crate.
Well, alright.
Alright, well, hopefully he doesn't get into anything while we're down here, or poop on anything, or pee on anything. Well, darn.
Oh, so,
But yeah, like, you start to, like, cover Pink Floyd, and you have an entire, like, generation and side of music that is going to have all eyes on you, so...
I tell you,
I don't
talking
want
about
to put too much pressure on them, but, like,
Yeah.
at the same time, like...
Excuse me. Speaking of generational, Post Malone, while I was watching his last night, I don't remember the context of it, but he ended up bringing up the cable TV channel Music Choice, which was like an alternative MTV, like while MTV was at its height. While MTV was at its height, like playing music videos, like there was multiple channels that, like, you know, tried to also jump on the music video thing. Music Choice was one of them. Much Music was one of them. Video Jukebox was one of them. Even VH1 was one of them. And he mentioned Music Choice on his stream yesterday. He was like, oh yeah, like watching videos on Music Choice or something. I'm like, how old is this dude? Because, like, that was from my childhood when I was, like, an early teenager.
I think he's in his early 30s.
He's 24 years old.
is he
For real?
actually?
So there's no way that he actually has memory of that music channel. That channel was gone by the time he was...
It could have been a family thing. His dad could have watched it or something.
So, I mean, obviously he's a professional musician, and it doesn't mean that he's limited to only the knowledge of the music since he's been alive. But I thought it was just such a weird reference for somebody to make, and especially somebody that wasn't there for it. Because, I mean, I forgot it existed until he said something about it.
Maybe,
and I watched it and recorded music videos off of it on VHS.
Maybe his dad, like, had the VHSs, and, like, he watched them off of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was another good one. That was... Jack Johnson did a live stream this weekend. He hosts, I'm not a fan of his or anything. He seems like a nice guy, but I'm, again, not a fan of his music. He holds a music festival every year in Hawaii. And obviously it got canceled, so they did it this weekend and did it live stream style, and Eddie Vedder was a part of that. And they did, the last song they did was a song called Better Together. I don't know if it was a cover song or if it's a Jack Johnson song. I'm not sure where the song comes from. But it was like Zoom style on the screen. There was like 16 of them on the screen, and it was like Hillman. It was all of the people that played at the festival, and then they all did this one song together.
Gotcha.
Jack Johnson playing guitar and singing. There was a couple other people singing. And then because there was so many of them, there was some of them that were just playing like goofy instruments that weren't even really instruments. And that's what Eddie Vedder did. He was in the very bottom right-hand corner, and he was outside in front of his outside sauna with a broom. And he was just sweeping back and forth, and that was the rhythm. And he was also doing he moonwalked at one point. I'd never seen Eddie Vedder moonwalk before, but he did.
Well, all right then.
But, like, you could hear his broom, though. Like, it made, you know, a rhythm part of the song.
Gotcha.
And that was pretty cool. That was a good one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, back to Brad Pitt, which I was trying to talk about a couple minutes ago. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2 nights ago, and I actually really enjoyed it. Even though
it sucks.
Even though I felt like it was kind of.
I don't know why you dislike
Even
it.
though I felt like it was kind of. You know why he dislikes it.
I mean, there were like watching the Oscars. I was like, I've seen a couple of the other movies. I'm not quite sure why this one won as opposed to other people, but I think I thoroughly enjoyed watching it like all the way through.
I'm the only person that feels that way. It is what
I
it
thought
is.
Brad Pitt was really funny in it, and the twist ending. But like Nate was saying the
But,
other
like,
day,
for me-
Tarantino likes to just flip things on its head, just to flip things on its head. So
Well, for
that
me,
could be an argument.
I felt like I didn't think it was a twist ending because I purposely didn't look into it beforehand. Like I knew before that like Sharon Tate died. Like I knew that, but that was the only thing I knew. So like after I watched the movie, after it was over, then I looked it up and like was finding stuff out about it. So like I had no prior knowledge to it, so I think I enjoyed it more, not expecting something to happen. So, but then like Nate was talking because I was playing Rocket League with him a couple of days ago. He was saying like, Tarantino kind of known for like flipping things on its head,
Right.
and I was like asking him if he had like seen like Pulp Fiction, those kind of things. Like he watched that when he was a kid, and like I asked if he was a fan. He was like, I like it, but I feel like he just glorifies violence like way too much. So it kind of like isn't my kind of movie too much. So, which I understand that, but they burned the lady on fire with the flamethrower. So I was pretty happy.
There were definitely some payoff points.
Yeah.
The first hour is like, why is this movie happening?
Yeah.
But you don't realize that it's setting up for
which
the last
movie?
15 Once
Once
Upon a Time in
Oh,
Hollywood.
yeah.
But like the first hour is like a whole lot of nothing. But like you don't realize that each of those like little nothings
Yeah.
are about to be like the 5 seconds of payoff that you get for the last 10 minutes of the movie.
And like
really
in that first hour, I had a friend that like asked me to share him something because he needed like a paper to be able to do it, and he didn't have the paper, so he needed like a doc to be able to fill it out. And like I had to like go onto my Chromebook, and like while I was watching the movie, I'm also like trying to get this thing to him so then like it doesn't get turned in late or something like that. So I plan on watching the rest of those Tarantino movies over the next year.
Or you could
and a
just
half.
watch like 100 different documentaries about Charles Manson, because that's what I did, and that's why I was disappointed in the movie.
That's fair. See, that's like the puddle of mud thing. Like it's just there's a certain thing you have a certain, but it's a certain thing you have a certain expectation of it, and you know what should be coming up next.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, you're just like, well,
Yeah.
all three of you were supposed to be dead, and the credits are rolling. Why are you not dead?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of documentaries on Charles Manson and the Manson family and all that, and read lots of books. I don't know, it was something I was into, I guess, for a part of my life. So I know the story all very, very well. And then when they announced this movie, it was like, oh, you know, Tarantino's making a movie about Manson and about the Manson family and the girls and all this, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. And that's not really what he did. He really just made a movie about Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, and that wasn't my selling point for the movie whatsoever.
You just called DiCaprio Matt Damon.
Sorry. I'm terrible with that.
No, it's all
Hollywood
good.
actors, I don't care. Whatever. So that was my beef with the movie.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. And it's like I said to Lane, I was like, maybe if I watch it again now, like knowing that like obviously
isn't the
it's
payoff.
not going to follow what I think is going to happen, maybe I would like it a little bit more. I don't know.
I think DiCaprio does a really good job. I think Brad Pitt's funny in it.
How does Matt Damon do? Is he good?
Oh, he was pretty good.
Good. Is he not in the movie?
His
Isn't he?
role as Sharon Tate was the strongest I've ever seen.
He's in every movie ever, isn't he?
He is in a lot of movies.
I feel like at this point DiCaprio's in more
Is
movies
he
Yeah.
than
the one
Damon
that's
is.
more so? Gotcha.
Did he ever get an Oscar?
Yeah, no, he won the first time, like in
For this-
2017 or something.
Okay.
Like he had a bajillion nominations and would never win.
Any
Never
movies
won.
coming out that you guys are looking forward to, or
I don't know when my movies.
Yeah,
are coming
everything's
out at this
being
point.
pushed back at this
Gotcha.
point.
The entire Marvel calendar has been shifted about 3 to 6 months, depending on how
Yeah.
close it is to right now.
gotcha,
Like some of the movies that were scheduled for 21 are now scheduled for 22.
gotcha.
Early 21 is now late 2021.
There are a couple of things that are coming on Netflix
Okay.
that I want to watch. Like Steve Carell has a new show.
What about Tiger King?
No.
I just brought that up to make you mad.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But Steve Carell has a new
That
show.
annoying.
Yeah, what's up with the new Steve Carell show? And it's by the people that made The Office, right?
I think Greg Daniels is writing with it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And
But
it's in space.
I
It's
think
called,
so. It sounds like it's Spaceballs, kind of.
No, it's called Space Force. So like, it's basically a joke on how Trump is like making like another branch of the government, which is like the Space Force, and that's like what it would be like if it became a thing, and that's what the show is.
Gotcha.
So then there's something. There's a show that is made by the people that made Adventure Time.
Yeah.
It's like a Rick and Morty kind of Adventure Time kind of show. It's also on Netflix. I want me and you to watch that. That sounds really funny.
Did you guys watch the trailer for the new Justin Roiland show?
Yeah.
Solar Opposites.
Yeah.
That's another one of those things of I don't know how I feel in terms of voices.
Yeah, when
Hearing
you
him
hear the
talk,
voice, you
but
hear
not
something
seeing
else.
Rick or Morty on
Yeah.
the screen is really weird.
Yeah. But it's a little bit different. He's not doing the Rick or Morty voice. He's really just doing the Justin Roiland voice, though. I mean, it's still very similar to both.
Yeah.
But it is still
His,
at least a different voice.
Rick and Justin Roiland's voice are insanely similar.
Yeah. But
So.
there's still... It's not exactly, though.
Yeah.
It's not,
And I mean, I like that kind of humor, so
Mhm.
I don't want to like
Yeah.
knock it down because
so it
like,
kind
that's the
of...
last thing I want to do is to be like, oh, the two A-listers from the other show aren't in this one. I cannot watch this spin-off
Yeah.
or this side project
Mhm.
because I like the first
more
project
side
that he put out.
More
Yeah, it's
side
more of a
project
side
than
project.
spin-off. Although it looks very similar to Rick and Morty.
I think it's just the
That's
same kind of
probably his
animation.
artwork.
Yeah,
It
which I
seems
mean,
like
his
that's
video
kinda his
game looks the
creation.
same way as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and I get that, but
And if anything, I kind of want to support him because I like Rick and Morty so much.
I
and
need-
if
I
I
still-
only
I
get Rick
still
and
wanna
Morty
play the
once
video
every
game,
5
too.
years,
Trover
then-
saves the universe.
I wanna see how
nothing
much
but good
that-
things about it. I was just waiting for it to get.
I want to
cheap.
see how much that is on Steam. I've been looking for like a PC single player game to play,
Yeah.
and I think that might be
Yeah, I've
one of
heard
the ones I
good
want to
things
play.
about it.
Yeah, if I only get Rick and Morty once every 5 years, I figured I could
know.
sprinkle some more Justin Roiland
Yeah,
in,
maybe that'll be
in
a-
between
A
years.
good way of holding you over. 5 more Rick and Morty episodes start up here in a week or two, though. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
the trailer for that looked pretty good.
And
So-
just the title of it is just like the other 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always love the self-awareness. Like I love Deadpool, I love
Yeah.
Rick and Morty. I like
Yeah.
the stuff that is
One of the
doesn't take itself too
episodes
seriously.
I saw, I don't remember who I saw say it. It was either Justin Roiland or Dan Harmon, one or the other. And I forget which episode it is, but one of the episodes of the upcoming 5, one of them has said that like it's the sickest, most twisted episode they've done yet. So
That's hard to
that's
do.
a pretty big statement to make
Yeah.
with some of the crazy stuff they've done.
Yeah.
So we'll see
I mean,
what
we
happens.
literally watched Rick and Morty get like melted in front of them.
Yeah.
Or there was I can't remember, maybe it was the interdimensional cable one, or there was something, but there was like the cold open to it, and like Morty had to like kill an alien that looked like his mom.
Yeah.
So Morty
Yeah.
literally just blatantly
Oh,
murders
yeah.
his mom
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
order to do something that Rick asked him to do.
Yeah. My boss that owns the place I work at, I got him hooked on Rick and Morty a year or two ago now or something like that. And Interdimensional Cable is his favorite episode.
Of course it is.
And I love that kind of like
I love that episode. Why
It's
why of
fantastic.
course it is.
Because that's the episode when like, oh, let's turn on Rick and Morty. So like Pickle Rick or that,
I mean,
or like
it's
the
one of
two
the
episodes that
main-
everybody turns on. Which
But for good reason though.
yes, for good reason, but it gets old after you watch it. Just like how some
I don't
Simpsons
think so.
episode
I think
gets
I could
old.
probably watch the TV and say just two brothers, and then the Mexican Armada attacks. Oh, but their bond is strong.
That's been referenced in this house quite a few times.
Because I don't remember who it is. I'm almost certain it's someone on AEW, but they refer to
Yeah.
themselves as brothers or
Yeah.
something. And I always
It's
just
like,
go two brothers.
It's just two brothers.
And then you just hear the giggle at the very end. Like I loved that it was literally just, all right, Justin, stand there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
press play. Just make up a story.
Just
You do
talk.
whatever you want.
I blew my boss's mind this past week. He was under the impression that Dan Harmon did one of the voices and that Justin Roiland did one of the voices as Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same. And I wasn't 100% sure. I had to double check, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that does both of their voices. I think Justin Roiland does both of the
Yep.
voices. So I had to look it up on YouTube and find
Yep.
it was one of the first ones that came up was from a Comic-Con panel, and somebody was like, "Can you just do the voices?" And so like he had a conversation like with himself, just sitting there as Rick and Morty, and it was like, that's weird. It's weird to watch it. Like it's weird to see it like that.
I'm almost positive that Dan Harmon does do a couple voices.
He does do a couple voices.
I think it's like
but
the same for like
a
the Simpsons.
couple
That there's like the four that do most of the characters, and there's that one person that
Does
like.
he do Jerry?
I don't think so.
No.
He
just does small.
I think it's
ones.
one of
Like
it's almost exactly like the Simpsons of
small
like
B
Justin
characters
Roiland
that have
does
one or
the
two
family, and then like Alien number 3 that approaches Morty. That's Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked about live streams and Rick and Morty.
Boom.
I gotta watch that episode now. There's that one, and there's the. That's what it's from.
Let me side by side put the crate real quick. Keep entertaining the live audience. There's probably millions of them.
Well, howdy doody, people. Oh, but that one, it's from the one where it's the Where's Waldo picture. That's where he kills his mom. Is the one where they get the infectious thing on their shoe.
Yeah.
And it comes in and it has all the wacky characters.
Wacky characters.
I can't remember what it's called.
The one where like they put the number on the wall.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Risky
business.
minutes.
Risky minutes.
Rixty minutes. It's like 60 minutes. Dude, the meme is accurate. It's like the one where it's you sitting or like you being bored and it has 2 notifications, and then you being busy and it has like 18 notifications next to something. That is beyond accurate.
I have a
Where have you
theory-
ever seen that meme?
It's on
I have a
Instagram.
theory that my phone knows when I'm putting it in my pocket, because my phone is smart
Buzzes.
enough and trained enough to know that this means it's being put away, and it saves a notification for when I do that. You put it away, and it's like, oh no, now I'm gonna beep at you, take me back out.
Gotcha.
I think that happens.
There's been multiple reports of people the phone buzzing without a notification, and it's to make it so then you open up your phone and you're using your phone more often.
It's the same reason.
Wait, I
why,
thought
like,
those were ghosts though. Cause like way back when, I think it was like 8th grade or something, we went through. There was like the sex ed thing of like don't be stupid, and then there was the technology side of it as well of like if you use your phone too
Technology,
much
sex ed?
or do anything like that, sometimes like there are these things called like ghost notifications. I didn't think it was the phone buzzing. I thought that was your mental.
No,
I thought
that's-
that was you mentally thinking you
that's-
had a notification.
That's Apple being like, hey, use your phone.
I think both things
Okay.
exist.
Because there have definitely been times where because like I called Bull. I was like, there's no way that actually happens, and now here I am like 5 years later, and I definitely hear
think that-
notifications. Like
I think
it
that's
comes
funny
at that time
that-
when you're bored. Like you especially want to be hearing a notification, and you're just like, your brain is just like, oh, it went off. Oh, you're on Instagram. Wait, 3 hours just went by. And you're like, there was no notification in the
I think
first
it-
place. What am I doing?
I think it's funny that like the same day it's like sex ed, and it's like
No,
also.
it was like a 3-day thing. But
Do you have a
yeah,
whole
it
day
was-
for
it
your
was weird that
phone?
the people gave a slideshow that started off with
That's funny.
don't have sex, and then also was like ghost vibrations.
All right, what do we want to talk about on this segment?
Is this not the end segment?
We should still have another segment and then the end segment. We've only had one segment.
How long in terms of time? Like,
Yeah,
do
we
need,
don't
like a
have
super
anything
beefy
else to talk
topic,
about.
or just some small.
Got anything you want to talk about?
think we kind of talked about everything.
I'm not everything, but like I don't know.
Want to talk about not being able to go to school?
I mean, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean your topic. I just meant like. I didn't mean your idea. I meant the topic itself sucks.
Your idea is stupid.
I mean, we could talk about that if you want. My only concern with it is I'll probably only say like 5 sentences and I'll start getting short with myself. And I probably won't be able to talk for very long about it.
Okay. What else?
iPad.
Talk about iPad. Talk about.
We can talk about
Like
Wiley life, period. The last 2 months, like, we've renovated the backyard and, like, we've painted the fence. We have the iPad. Like, there's a whole lot of Wiley isolation that has happened recently.
Yeah. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our last little segment that we want to get into here, we're just going to kind of talk about the life of quarantine in our house and how it's affected us individually since we've last spoke about it, because I mean we might as well continue to document this crap as we go week by week on Howdy Radio during this crazy time that we live in. Where do we start?
I mean, the buying of the house kind of worked out pretty dang perfectly.
So we've
oddly in the pandemic world.
Yeah, we bought our house, and then like the next day, the world changed. Is almost how it happened.
Yeah.
Boy, we were just talking about it yesterday. Actually, me and Liz were just talking about it yesterday. It's a good thing we bought the house when we did, and we've discussed on the show when we bought the house. I think it's been like 2 months ago now, almost exactly.
Yeah.
2 months ago now. And God, we got lucky the way that it worked out and the price that we paid for this house. Because since the whole world has changed now, there's other houses that are in our area that are not as nice as the house that we live in. That is way more expensive than what we are.
Gotcha.
The timing of it, it's insane, the timing of it, the way that this all worked out. If it would have been a month or two different either way, I don't think we'd be sitting where we are right now. And that's pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we bought the house a couple months ago, and since, so now we've been in quarantine in our house. So if you're not familiar, we lived in this house for 8 years renting it, and then just a couple months ago we bought it. So we didn't move or anything. We're still in the same house. That was the big thing. We wanted to stay where we were. But now it's our house, so we've been able to, it's our responsibility to do things and whatnot. So,
and not necessarily our responsibility. It's just like things that we've wanted to do or... I mean,
like what?
Dash is the prime example of that.
Our dog is
while
for sure.
renting, we couldn't have a dog, and now, within like same day or day after buying, we've had Dash.
Yeah. And so let's talk about Dash for a little bit. Then let's start there. So we feel that the biggest change in our lives as homeowners has been the ability to buy a dog, which we did literally the day after we signed the papers to buy the house. So what do you guys feel about the dog? How do you guys like having a dog around all the time?
I mean, I love the dude, and I think he's definitely gotten more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2 months.
Yeah.
This month more
got
so
a
than the
rescue
first
dog.
month.
This is the first dog I've really ever owned. But we knew going into it that getting a rescue dog that it'd probably take a little bit longer to get them used to our life and everything, because they might not have had the best life for the best little while or something, so that always takes a little while to get used to something new. But you're right, I think he's still getting used to, or I think he's doing a lot better job of being around and doing all that
that first month he wouldn't even like come downstairs, and now I just say his name if I'm next to the stairs, he just zooms down, sits on my beanbag, and we just chill on the beanbag for a little bit.
Yeah, for the first little while, he wouldn't go upstairs or downstairs. He would only stay on the main floor unless we picked him up and carried him. But that is not the case anymore. I like watching him run up the stairs. I've tried to get a couple videos of him, because if you get down like at like stair level, and then I'm going to get a good video of him running up the stairs one day. I haven't got a good one yet, but he looks funny when he runs up the stairs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the dog is a big one. So we take the dog out for walks and
Yeah.
That's another thing that's changed too. When we were first taking walks, for one, you could not walk behind him
right.
without him having the biggest freak out ever.
Yes, he had to be directly behind you to your right.
Mhm.
For whatever reason and dog reasoning, that is where he had to
Yeah.
be. And he still
stays to the
prefers
right.
in that area.
But like
But
he won't
He
freak
prefers
out.
in front for me now. He leads, but will still only go on the right side.
Right.
Which kind of works out because, like,
Yeah, I'm holding the thing in my right hand anyway,
Yeah.
so it's fine. And he's the same for me, sometimes in front of me, but I wouldn't say most of the time in front of me.
he recently, only for me, doesn't walk on the grass the whole time.
He walks on the
He
sidewalk
walks
for
on the
me
si-
too.
He walks on the sidewalk, and then,
Yeah.
unless it's the tall grass,
Yeah.
which just recently got cut, but there was super tall grass that he would like to run in, and anytime he goes to the bathroom, he gets in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, he just, like, side by side, just walks.
He also walks on the sidewalk for me too.
Has he ever pooped behind the dumpster at my work?
No.
Somebody's
Has
pooping
anybody
behind the
ever-
dumpster at my work.
So much to the point where you have a sign there now. That's ridiculous.
We have a dumpster out, beside my bar that I work at. And over the last month or two, there has been a couple instances where there's a big pile of crap back there. And we have determined that we do not think that it is any type of animal crap. We think it's human crap. So it's happened so many times that I got on the computer the other day and went on Google and searched and found a no public pooping sign. It had like a guy pooping out a poop emoji, and it had a big line and circle and line through it. And I printed it out, and that's now on the back of our dumpster at work. So,
Nice.
It's ridiculous. The quarantine life is getting to people.
and then the guy I was working with, he's like, you know what's going to happen? I was like, what? He's like, the guy's going to go back there and take a dump behind your dumpster and then use your paper to wipe his butt with. And I was like, oh,
Yikes.
crap, that probably will happen. But it's still worth having the sign there, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so besides the dog, we've been, we like painted our front rail out front on our front porch.
Bought new furniture.
Bought new furniture. Well, our furniture was a housewarming gift we got from Liz's dad. He bought us, him and his girlfriend was very nice and got us a housewarming gift, and we got patio furniture for out back. We got a hammock for out back.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I have yet to be in the hammock.
It's also been raining a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And we got a new little rocker bench for the front porch.
Yeah.
So we went from having 0 places to sit outside of our house to now we have
Two, three,
ample
four,
amount of
5.
seating for no, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you want to be technical. The patio furniture sits 4. The hammock says it's for 2 people,
That's true.
and the front bench is for 2 people.
Mhm.
So 4, 2, and 2. We've got enough to accommodate 8 people outside now, and there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, I'm ready for the party I'm going to throw when this is all over.
Yes, I think everybody is ready for a party to throw when this is all over.
And Marmy got us the rich person.
Fire pit.
Yeah.
And we painted that, and that looks good.
That matches the
we
color scheme of
painted-
everything.
We painted some belts, NWO.
Oh yeah, when we were painting the fire pit, finally put the NWO spray paint on the belt. That was fun. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
What else around the house have we done? Anything really? We've what about the food? Talk about the food. What's our food situation look like in this whole new world situation that we live in?
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I have more variety and
Yeah.
I eat better now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily consider it better because it's
No.
probably still just
It's
artificial
also-
meat and
It's
chips
all
with a
crappy
pudding.
microwave
but
food.
You also gotta think about this. You only have your stuff. You have bought food for you. Like everybody else, it's the 3 of us. Just who gets to it first.
But I don't know if
And
maybe
then
it's
it's just
because
you
when
by
Mama
yourself.
goes to the store, every vegetarian in existence has already bought the chicken patties that I like, so she grabs the other stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But honestly, the other stuff is delicious. She got some barbecue chicken nuggets and some buffalo wings. Those buffalo wings, I put my own cheddar cheese and sriracha on those. Stuff's the bomb.
Right on. Yeah, we got a lot of food in the house. We've been making more grocery visits than we had in the past, probably. There's definitely been no shortage of food in the house. What about going out to eat? So
Chipotle every Thursday.
I'm glad that we switched ours to Taco Bell every Thursday.
I can't do Chipotle anymore. I like Taco Bell way more than I like Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple Friday nights we've tried. We usually have eat out night on Friday nights. We're all home at that point now. So we've been trying to do local stuff for that. Last week we did a Mexican restaurant around here that
was delicious.
we like called El Pueblo. That was so good. This week we got food from where I work, Chicken on the Run, and we just walked across the street and got it, and it was really good.
Also delicious.
We should get El Pueblo next week or something like that.
Yeah, El Pueblo is good. They brought us margaritas on the rocks, literally on the rocks.
On the rocks.
That was good, yeah. What else?
I like a big steak super quesadilla or something like that.
Yeah, I think some of it's still in the fridge, actually.
Is it? Probably
Yeah.
not good at this point.
I tell you, something that I did yesterday during quarantine life that made me feel really, really good was the record store that I shop at that is just a couple miles away from me. They announced that starting this past Friday that they were going to be open for curbside pickup. And I was like, well, I have to buy something from them immediately. Mm-hmm. So I sent them a message on Facebook, and I was it's hard to shop for records when you're not just walking through the record store.
Talking about that.
The part of buying a record is sitting there and flipping through 5,000 records before you decide on which one you want to buy.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what have I been listening to here lately that I would like to increase my collection on? And I was like, how about Nine Inch Nails? I've been listening to a lot of Nine Inch Nails here lately, so let's see. So I sent them a message. What NIN records do you have in right now? And they were really good about it. They sent me back 9 different pictures of all the different records they had with, the price tag was clearly on all of them, so I knew I didn't have to say, how much is that one or whatever. So they were all right there. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll pick up Broken, and they set it aside for me. And I went and picked it up, and that's it right here for the people that are watching. So they were like, yeah, just give us a call when you get here, and we'll bring it out to you. I was like, all right, cool. So then I went, I called there, and I was like, hey, this is Brandon. I got a Nine Inch Nails record waiting on me. I'm just letting you know I'm out here. He's like, we can either do the credit card over the phone, or if you're comfortable, you can just come into the counter and pay for it. And I'm like, I will be right in. So I walked in, and the guy opened the door for me, and he let me in. He smiled, and he's like, it kind of feels almost like normal again, just walking in, don't it? I said, there's no better feeling right now than just walking into a freaking record store, yes.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience. So I spent $25 and bought a record that I've heard 8 million times.
Heck yeah.
So, but
Is
you
that
got
the one that came with the bonus mini?
So here, let me give you the story on that, right? So I guess I don't need the visual aid. So Broken was a record that Nin released in '92. It was an EP. It was 6 songs. It came out on CD. That was the main format back in '92. So the very first pressing of Broken, the Broken EP itself was 6 songs. The first pressing came with what is called a mini disc, which is a format that never went anywhere. It was like half the size. It was like a GameCube game. The size of a GameCube game.
Yeah.
So some music tried to release on mini discs back then, and it never went anywhere. But the Broken CD came with a separate 3-inch mini disc that had 2 more songs on it. So there was 6 songs on the regular Broken CD, and then there was 2 bonus songs on the extra 3-inch CD. That was only the first pressing. From the second pressing thereon, those 2 songs have just been included on Broken. They're just considered 2 bonus tracks at the end of the album. That's what I owned back in '92. I didn't own the one that came with the extra little bonus. So so to me, in my head, those 2 songs had always and that's how it is on Spotify. Those 2 songs are on Broken on Spotify. But
does it say parentheses bonus track on it, or is it just a song?
No, the artwork for the record, it has labels on both sides, but it has 0 words. So I didn't know what the 2 songs were at all.
Oh, okay.
But it comes with a booklet that kind of explains all of that. Is where I learned all of that.
So wait, so you have a first pressing?
No, so that was the CD back from '92. Back in 2017, Nine Inch Nails re-released Broken on vinyl. It had not been available on vinyl probably since '92.
Gotcha.
And all of the copies now of Broken on vinyl, they recreated the bonus disc. So it comes with the 12-inch record with the 6 songs, and then it comes with a bonus 7-inch 45 record that has the other 2 songs on it. So to listen to the entire album, you have to use 2 different size and speeds of records, which is kind of weird. But I like that they imitated the original release of it. I think that's really cool. And it was a nice surprise opening up the packaging and be like, there's another record in here, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yep. What else? Bought a new iPad, which we've got right here, that's watching our live stream to keep up with the chat. What up, everybody in the chat? Cool.
Yep. I felt like I had something.
I'm sorry, I talked a long time about a Nine Inch Nails record.
No, you're fine. Oh, I think to the point of like going up and calling people that you're there, it is definitely apparent. I mean, it makes sense that people are definitely getting used to not being behind a counter to help people. Like, I don't. It's hard to describe, but like when you do the pickup things, like we had to pick up something from Ace.
Yeah.
And that person from Ace was so very confused as to how his own process was like still working.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to like figure out his system while I was trying to like sign the receipt and everything.
Gotcha.
So like it's weird that like everyone is adapting, whether it's because there's no customers or it's the way you help your customers.
And it's because everybody is doing it differently, because there's no exact way that everybody's supposed to be doing it.
If there was just a setup where someone would just say, no one can come inside, here's training on how you walk outside and how you get the receipt. And
so for example, like with restaurants and stuff, like some of them, some restaurants, they won't let you come into their restaurant to pick up their food. Mine does. So it's just some do, some don't. So some people that come to my restaurant to get food, like you'll kind of, sometimes because you can see out of our front door, but you can't see in our front door. So we can see like when a car pulls up and it's like, well, crap, they've been sitting there for like 5 minutes. They must expect that we're coming out to them, because some people do think that. So then we have to do that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes somebody will kind of just open the door and like they'll feel like they're doing something they're not supposed to do. They're like, am I supposed to come in? Can I come in?
Yeah.
But then the majority of people, the very high percentage of people, just walk right in and they're just super happy to be inside of the building. So
Yeah.
you can get a beer while you're waiting for your food to finish, and that helps people feel good for a minute.
Yeah.
Same way me walking into the record store felt good for a minute.
And I think part of it also is like, part of the reason why there's not such like a formality with it is like, because like some fast food chains have drive-throughs, so they're probably hardly affected anyways. Like
they're just, their dining room just isn't open.
The McDonald's that's right by the Kroger, the percentage of people who go through the drive-through as opposed to who comes in is probably 85 to 15.
For sure.
So as opposed to having the 5 people that you had per shift come inside, that's just an extra car in the drive-through. So they don't have to adapt, but other people like El Pueblo definitely do not have a drive-through, so you have to deliver or go outside.
Right. Yeah, we've been doing delivery at my restaurant also. That's not something that we had until the current times. We've got one of our servers that needed hours because he lost his other job because they closed down completely. So we're like, well, let's get this guy working and make him do the deliveries. So he stands around, answers the phone, and takes people their food all day, and it works out really well. It's just weird though. It's just apparently Ohio is supposed to open back up here soon, and we'll see exactly how that all plays out.
It's so weird. It's like it's a double-edged sword. I want us to go back to normal, but at the same time,
I don't want everybody
if
to die.
we're shut down right now, just at this point, we're slowly starting to adapt to how this life is anyways. Don't go back to things prematurely, because like that's just another thing to just adapt to regular life as well. And, like, have you noticed that, like, watching like TV and stuff? So like, it's weird what we took for granted. Of just like you see like group hugs on Step by Step, and you're like, you can't do that. That's contagious. What are you doing?
6 feet.
No contact.
You sit there and watch an episode of AEW Dynamite where there's no crowd, and then like they'll show a highlight from like, this guy wrestled this guy at this time, and there's like 20,000 people in the audience. It's like,
weird
oh
to,
my
like,
God, look at all
see a
those people in
crowd.
one place.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're all going to die.
It's just weird, like, I felt like it was just me at first, of, like, sometimes I feel like when things get shifted, I don't know if I'm quick to adapt, but I'm quick to forget what it was before. Like, it might take me a minute to, like, get back through the steps, but once I'm in it, I forget what it was like beforehand. So, like, watching AEW with 4 heels and 4 faces and no other people in attendance, like, I'm so used to just watching Colt just clap instead of the 20,000 people.
Yeah.
The difference about AEW and WWE with no audience, though, is that AEW doesn't have an audience because Chris Jericho said there cannot be an audience anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the current pandemic that we're in. Jericho just got tired of the audience and said no more.
Yeah.
So when he says they can come back, everything should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh really, really, really hard when everything can go back to normal.
He just says.
And they forget that they said that. Everyone's back and, like, we probably went, like, an hour and a half in. And Jericho has to come back out and be like, so I'm pretty sure I made a declaration. I don't know why any of you are here.
Yeah, that'll get brought up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, like, with my restaurant, it's looking like, you know, once it does start to open up again, that we'll probably have to operate at, like, a smaller capacity than what we're set up for now, to where whatever a restaurant's maximum occupancy is that, you know, you might be able to operate under like half of that or even a quarter of that, or I don't know. And that, so if we start doing that, we'll probably have to start taking reservations, would be my guess. We wouldn't be able to just have people walk up, and it'll probably, you know, we'll probably have a schedule of who all is going to be in there on a certain night, which is super weird, but that's probably what we're looking at.
And I mean, all of it sucks, but, like, have you seen, like, the pictures of New Delhi in India? I mean, when you have 1.3 billion people in quarantine, India used to be, like, super, like, cloudy and stuff, but, like, there's, I can't remember what it's called, but, like, it's, like, their landmark that is, like, everyone takes pictures by.
Gotcha.
There was, like, a before and after of, like, February of this year, and you could barely see the statue, and now it's, like, literally clear skies in India because everyone's just...
Yeah.
So, I mean, the
the
side
weird thing
effects
about
totally
this.
suck, but, like...
There's
the
a lot
world
of
needed a deep breath for a second, and I'm glad that it gets it.
Not of that pollution.
There's definitely, I think there's definitely some
but
positives
there's no
to this.
people like at the steel factories and doing this, that, and the other thing that caused the pollution in the first place.
Just saying nobody should take a deep breath of the pollution or they die.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird time that we're living through right now, and who knows what it's going to look like a year from now. Like, one of the things I read said that, like, the big concerts and stuff like that might not even be continuing until, like, fall of 2021. It's like a big, you know, big arena or stadium show. But hopefully that doesn't include the smaller club shows. Hopefully that'll start up sooner, because those are more important to me than the big arena rock shows.
Yeah.
So I don't. Hopefully it's not too long before I can stand in a room with 12 other Green Jello fans and enjoy a concert. So we'll see how it plays out, though.
Yep. But if anything, it's just made us more hygienic. For one,
people
the
wash their
world
hands
is
now.
like it was just a fact check or a reality check of just like the people are asking you to do very simple tasks in order to not let this spread, and you start realizing like, wow, we didn't really do that a whole lot, and like we should definitely do that more often.
Yeah.
So not only like is it house to house we can be more hygienic, but just not like existing in the world as we used to 2 months ago. The world is already doing better as well.
So just let's end it with this thought. Let's one more quick conversation about this. Let's say we're sitting here 10 years from now doing a Howdy Radio The Next Generation reunion, and we're talking about just, you know, let's talk about some stuff that we used to talk about on the show. You know, let's talk about, you know, video games that we used to like back then. Do you think 10 years from now this whole coronavirus pandemic thing, like, will this go down in history books, like, as being as a big deal as we've thought it is right now? Like, will there always be the pre-corona and post-corona world that we live in, or eventually do you think we'll be back to normal and we'll just kind of forget that this happened? Or
I don't think so. Ever will be an actual
any person
normal.
who is a senior right now, it will never go away.
Yeah.
But
That's the
also, I
worst.
think it is similar to, like, a 9/11 situation of, I mean, it's definitely like people have like described it as like war times, which it totally is. Like, companies have like adapted to like do the times of what we're fighting right now. But like in certain areas, like you can go to the UK and get on a plane whenever you please, and there's not much ifs, ands, or buts about it. But like leaving America or coming into America, because of what happened, like we've adapted, and the normal is now different than what it was September 10th of 2011 or 2001.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be somewhat similar to that of like, I don't think it'll drastically change because unfortunately I think we're too arrogant to actually like, I mean, once the billionaires can start making their money again, unfortunately I think
the second it's like, oh, you can go outside, everybody will be partying again because it's summer and all that kind of stuff.
I want that to happen. I think the world is still going in the
like
direction
how
it's going in.
crazy apprehensive
before.
Is everybody going to be? Let's say by this fall that they've said that like, oh, everything can open back up or whatever. We're just making up time frames here. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen or anything. Let's just say that happens, right? Let's just say they're like, this fall, as of October 1st, everything's cool. And that's just what we're rolling with. Okay. So that means like bands start announcing tours and stuff like that. So then Pearl Jam's like, all right, we're coming to town in November or whatever. Are people going to go to that show, or are people going to be scared to death to be around 25,000 people to where now there's going to be like 20 people at the show?
I think it's definitely going to not be like crazy sold out.
There's for sure going to be a grace period. Wherever we claim that it's over, I give it probably a solid like 3 to 6 months before people are just like,
okay, well, actually,
it's for real. Like, it's
because us as a society has a terribly short attention span.
Yeah.
So I feel like, once they're not on the news talking about it every day, I think it'll be quicker to forget than.
I guess that's more or less what I hope happens, or I guess that's just how my mind works, anyways, because of like with the anxiety and everything. Like, I'm already, like it was weird to walk into Domino's to grab my check, and then, like, the person told me to stand on this dot because it was far enough away from the customer, and I was just like, I don't know. It just, it still all slightly gets under your skin, because, like, I try and stay away from the news that, like, keeps the attention span. I just keep DeWine on Twitter so I can see, like, what's happening with the
actual important stuff.
Yeah.
I try and keep away from the...
I
don't think it's all hysteria, but there's some of it that's just like...
If you drink bleach, then coronavirus will go away.
Yes, the President of the United States telling me to take... use heroin needles and inject myself with hand sanitizer to fix this, that doesn't help my anxiety at all.
The meme that I saw that I liked a lot was, I really wish that all of these companies and stuff would quit saying not to do that. We should just let this one play out naturally. If somebody is dumb enough to ingest themselves with Lysol, let them.
Yeah.
One less stupid.
Yeah, that's natural selection at that point. Because if you're willing to do that, then that's a yikes.
So I feel like Lysol doesn't need to give any disclaimers. Let it happen.
That's true.
I
think one of my favorite ones is Trump at the podium, and it's the Nirvana bleach cover.
Yeah, that was a good.
Bleach is just in quotes.
Yep. But I am a very, 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 I can't say very enough times, very big believer that the media in our country and world is about the biggest form of BS that there is. So there's not much that they can tell me on TV that I can put much belief into, because it's all a work. The entire political system is an effing work from beginning to end. Yeah. So I have a real hard time with
kayfabe.
It is. It all is. You have no idea how many parallels there can be between a fake wrestling world and a fake political world. They're the same damn thing. It's sad. So nothing that they tell me on television can I put much stock into. So,
and I think part of the problem is just it's always which side can one up the other.
It's all fake.
And like I really wish that there could just be a middle ground, because like the next time I hear on the news that's like liberals want to go back to work to kill, or don't want to go back to work and will kill the economy, then please explain to me how going back to work and then everyone dying and then the economy going to crap fixes anything. I'd rather the economy tank and people live to fix the economy than let's just kill both.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that mindset. Let's go back to work and save the economy. Well, then there's no one to do that. So, good job.
But I mean, in my situation, I have not been living the quarantine life. I have been going to work more every day of my life. Some weeks a little bit more than my old schedule. So it's a little different for different people, I guess. I don't know what I feel like I had somewhere I was going with that, and I just completely got off track and don't remember what I was
everyone's adapted to it.
Yeah.
I mean, some different than others, because like it's one thing to like take those comments out of context and just be like, you're just hating on people, but at the same time that could just be coping of just like I need something to be fixed so that I don't feel like the entire world is crashing down. If the economy's fixed, then maybe something else happens. But
our economy was due for a terrible failure.
Yeah.
I mean, our entire society is based on the almighty dollar, and that's stupid. So of course that's gonna fail at some point. So whether or not this is what takes it out or not, we'll see.
And maybe we can wrap it all up and like bring a full circle with the whole Star Trek thing.
What does Star Trek have to do with anything? Because it sucks like Corona does?
No,
I get it.
No.
Okay, I understand. That's our takeaway, everybody. Coronavirus sucks like Star Trek. Thanks for joining us, Tyler.
No, but like Mama like described, because I wasn't there for the first couple episodes, but on the series we're watching, like it all starts on the foundation of like, in the opening credits, it's like everyone like stopped going country v country, political party v political party. It was just we all just share the same resources, and that's why like they were there's like those society now and society if one thing was different memes. Like it's similar to that of like Star Trek is what happens when everyone can just get their crap together and stop bickering over the little things.
Gotcha.
And just have a bigger picture.
Well, all right.
Yep.
That was a pretty good talk, I think.
Yeah, we talked for more than everything else.
Whatever, that's fine.
And we thought we didn't have another segment.
That's all right. I think we're still right. Probably around an hour or so we're fine. All right. I think that's all we've got for this segment. Let's get this thing wrapped up.
That Bleach picture is still fantastic. I just don't get it. I think the thing I don't get the most is that not only is there the one like big dumbass, but like there's a bunch of other little dumbasses running the streets of the US that like agree. Like I think that's my problem is like if it was just one person just spewing just because he likes hearing himself talk, that'd be one thing. But the fact that people like take what he says as fact is ridiculous.
And it's the unfortunate part of all of the people that I work with are complete idiots. And the people at work can't comprehend because I disagree with everything that everybody thinks at work because they're all idiots. And therefore they all think, oh, well, you're some stupid democratic sheep idiot. And I'm like, no, I think they're just as stupid as you are.
There's a middle ground that like isn't stupid.
And it's unfortunate that that's where we're at with all of this stuff. All right, let's wrap it up. You want to bring it in to wrap us up, Tyler?
How do I do that?
I click record and you say,
Alrighty.
that's our show for today, or I don't know. If you want to, you can. If not, whatever.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, well, that was our show. Here are all the credits rolling. And I think we've had a really...
Have you guys listened to the Scrubs podcast yet?
No, that is definitely something I need to listen to.
Yeah, Dave and Taggart have both... Dave more so than Taggart have been getting on me about. There's like 5 episodes deep now, and apparently it's really good, and I haven't listened to it yet.
Isn't it similar to Office Ladies? Like they do a play-by-play kind of watching the episodes. That sounds like so much fun.
Yep, and one episode had Bill Lawrence. One episode had Sarah Chalk. So I think they're doing like 2 episodes a week or so.
Because like the Office Ladies thing like sound like a really cool concept to me, but like I'm not as into The Office as everyone else is.
I listened to a couple episodes
Scrubs
of The Office.
is like one of my shows.
Yeah,
so like I'd love to watch that.
It's one of my all-time favorites for sure. I'll get to it. I need to get to it sooner than later because if it ends up being like 50 episodes deep, then I'm gonna
not
be
try.
overwhelmed
Yeah.
and not even start it. So I need to get on it. Cool.
That could be something that's a dinner thing. Take a break from Step by Step and just listen to.
It'd be weird listening to a podcast at dinner time. See, I'm jealous
No,
because
listen and watch at the same time.
a lot of my friends, they're able to listen to podcasts at work, either with headphones in or something like that. So they get more podcast time than I do. I'm in a kitchen at work and
Can't quite
And,
blast Zach Braff's
yeah,
voice
like
across the chicken.
I've always just played music, and everybody expects there to be music. If I turned on a podcast, everybody would look at me like, what the heck are you doing? However, in the last couple weeks, I've always tried to play music in the kitchen that would, for the most part, be friendly enough for everybody else that was in the building. Over the last couple weeks, my attitude on that has changed. I don't care what you like. I don't care if you like what I'm listening to. What I'm in the mood to listen to is what I'm going to listen to. I don't care if you hear a song that you like all day long. It's my kitchen. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of almost to that point, like where maybe I'll start listening to the podcast at work because I don't care if they want to listen to it or not.
And if anything, maybe that just pushes them to want to watch Scrubs, and now you have a common ground talking point.
Could be. Right on. So everybody go check out the Scrubs podcast, myself included. Any final thoughts, anybody? This was a fun show having Tyler on. Tyler, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for
Tiwi.
talking a bunch and not just sitting there. It was a fun episode.
Agreed.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get you on the next few episodes, and you can just be the special guest for the next little while.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sounds good. I could use the social media hype.
Yeah, there you go. You'll have to get your
You
own
need a
little
clout.
Twitter handle so that I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
hashtag Tyler you on
Yeah.
the
Did you
official.
at me?
No, I just put with special guest Tyler. I didn't mention me or you. I just mentioned Tyler.
I'm a part of the show.
I am too.
I know, but
They expect me and you to be on it. We're the host of the show. Tyler
no, but
was the
you
special
should
guest.
at the host of the show still.
Yeah, well then you be in charge of the social media. How about that?
Whatever. I still know how to work it. You add the people who are on it.
Did you say you don't know how to work it?
I do know.
Okay.
You add the people who are on it.
All right. So, if you want to find us on social media, I'm Captain Howdy 1027 on Instagram and Twitter. Where can we find you guys at?
TyY216 on Instagram. TYWI216.
I think my Instagram is my Instagram is LanyaEast1113, and my Twitter is Lane_Wiley.
Cool. And you can find me on PlayStation at Captain Howdy 1027. You can find me on Xbox at Captain Howdy
Yeah,
1027.
because you're on Xbox so much.
You can find me on the Nintendo Switch at S3QP-493. I'm just kidding. I don't know my friend code.
I was about to be so impressed.
No.
You have no idea.
Definitely don't know my friend code. But if you want to be friends on Animal Crossing, let me know.
Do you have a Steam?
Captain Howdy 1027 on Steam. If you want to email me, I'm at CaptainHowdy1027 at Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo. Have you guys tried out this new browser yet?
No, what do you mean?
There's a new browser down here on the
I
computer.
clicked on it just to see what it was, but then I clicked off of
It's
it.
called Brave. Apparently, Google Chrome isn't the safest of browsers to be using anymore, so I've been wanting to try out Brave.
That
I
already
got-
sounds more safe than Chrome does.
I got good recommendations on it. There's this dude. Do you remember me talking about the channel Tech TV?
I think so.
That was a cable channel, early 2000s, called Tech TV, and it's exactly what it sounded like. And there was, so I learned that's where I became a computer guy. I was watching all of these shows and then wanting to do them myself. So there was this one guy that hosted a show on there. His name's Kevin Rose. He ended up being one of the youngest millionaires in the history of the U.S. because he founded a website called dig.com, which he's sold since then, and it's not really anything anymore.
Gotcha.
But he's got a really cool story to him, and I've always followed him on social media, and I've always given a lot of clout to any recommendation that he ever gives because they've always been pretty good.
Gotcha.
So I read on Twitter the other day, and he said that Chrome's not the thing to be using anymore. Brave is the way to go. So I was like, well, Kevin Rose told me to try out Brave, so here we are. So,
All
and
right.
it carried over all the settings from Chrome and everything, so you
Nice.
still got all your passwords saved and
Okay.
everything. So it was a very easy transition. And it does something really cool with torrents. You can watch torrents right in the browser.
Oh, that's really helpful.
So normally with a torrent, you need a torrent client, a second program. Why are we just talking about torrents in the outro of the show? Normally, like in a browser, you say, oh, I found this torrent. I need to open this torrent file in this torrent program, and that's where it's going to download the file, and then I can watch it or do whatever I want to with it.
Like WinRAR.
Not like WinRAR. That's a different thing.
Okay.
But with this Brave browser, you can go right in the browser, you click on the torrent file. Instead of the torrent file opening in the torrent program, it just starts playing the video that you're wanting to download.
So now you can see if it's like good quality.
Yeah, you can check the quality, or if you don't want to download, like if you don't need it for your Plex server, if you don't need the file of it, you just sit there and watch it. It's just like streaming it on Netflix.
Oh, that's really helpful.
It's awesome.
Were you doing that with all the movies you were downloading just to see?
No, I had to go back to Chrome because I couldn't figure out how to open the torrent file in the torrent program the way I wanted to.
Oh.
So I need to figure out how to do that in Brave when I don't want to stream it. So
Gotcha.
So check out Brave. It's a pretty cool looking browser. Apparently it's way faster than Chrome.
Maybe you use Google to put it onto the Plex server, and you use Brave to like see if it's actually good or not.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, that's that. Cool.
Is it actually that? Because
I don't care. If there's something else somebody wants to talk about, we'll sit here and keep talking. I really don't care. No? All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Go to howdyinc.com. Follow us all on all the different socials. I don't think I have any friends doing any podcasts right now to shout out. I don't think anybody's doing anything. So, oh well. Go watch all the famous people and judge what their houses look like instead.
Yep. Maybe we'll bring back into MTV Cribs because of it.
Maybe so.
They could be like the equivalent to Janela watching wrestling videos. Maybe MTV does a Twitch thing and looks at the live
I've been streaming a lot recently. My viewership has gone up a lot because of me streaming a lot.
So could I start like a Howdy Inc. Twitch and basically like just steal Joey Janela's idea and like stream some wrestling matches and like me and my friends like watch them and like talk about them?
I mean, that's not even a Joey Janela thing.
That's just like
people reacting to stuff. Initially, when streamers get on, they're like in the just talking phase,
just chatting,
and that's when like all of their like higher subscription like people like just send links of like YouTube videos to watch. And, like,
so what
just
about
sit there and just watch stuff with people?
What about the legality of it? I've noticed that none of Joey Janela's videos are saved on his Twitch page. And in my reasoning for thinking why that would be
that's just a setting.
Because I know that it's a setting of whether you can or not.
Yeah.
But I thought that the reason that he chose not to was because all the matches that he shows are all copyrighted from some other company, and he just downloads them off of YouTube and then streams them. So I thought maybe you could get away with a live stream, but not get away with having the video stored on your page to be able to watch later.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's literally just your webcam and you're just on YouTube just watching stuff or wherever you're watching your stream from, as long as you're not like blatantly like keeping it or making your own YouTube video like out of it, then you should be, I mean, for one, if you make it so people can't play back, no one can like, unless someone is like directly watching and like recording what you're doing, I mean, no one can say anything about it.
There is also
the video already happened. You've since moved on.
There is also a thing with Twitch, how if there is any copyrighted material in a section, it'll mute everything. It'll mute everything in that little area. But that probably doesn't happen live, though. It does not happen live. But it only happens
in
VOD.
Video,
if you save the video and you go back to it and there's copyrighted music in it, it will mute it.
So if me and my friends were to start our own new Howdy Inc. thing of like us watching wrestling matches, we would really have to only depend on a live audience.
Yeah.
So that's maybe where you get like, you ask a group of people to do stuff, and then like per episode, there's 10 of you, 3 of you are currently watching, 6 of you are viewers, and then like you like spread the word through the
I'll
8
tell
or
you
10
right
of
now,
you.
the whole Howdy Inc. spread the word thing has never really worked out very well for us.
Well, maybe you put up a sign at the chicken.
that says "Watch Howdy Inc. shows."
I mean, yeah, like
Cool.
just do something like that. I mean, someone's probably gonna notice that no public pooping sign, so
Yeah.
just say they're not. Okay, hold on. I think I'm comparing their content to pooping. That's
Our-
not what my
Our content's
intention
crap. I don't
was.
care.
But no, you could put a sign up there, and Mama could go to Target and put a sign up on the front of Target, and just like as people walk in, that's just something that they see. I mean, posters have worked in the past.
Yeah.
Posters now more than anything should work now.
It's a good idea. Then I gotta figure out how a couple of us can watch wrestling together at the same time, virtually, and then be able to in turn stream it also.
I can try to help with that.
Maybe that's like a Google Hangout Zoom thing of like maybe you dedicate a page to what is the videos, so you all can like you can pin that person who's talking, so you all the three of you can watch, or whoever, how many people are on.
One thing that I do, which I haven't done with anything else, but I've done it with Clone Hero, is it's called a mask, and it's basically just it blacks out everything else on the screen but one shape. And you can do that if you have a Google Hangouts call. You can make it every shape of each person that is in the thing and put it like at each corner or something like that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, that might be something we think about doing. Or maybe if it's not like a Howdy Inc. like me and my friends thing, maybe we could just do a couple episodes here, just sitting here watching and talking or something.
yeah,
For real.
That could be fun.
for sure.
And that's something you could run with too. That doesn't necessarily have to be like wrestling matches. That could be trailers to stuff, or trying out music that we're not quite, that we all want to like try out.
All of those ideas we've wanted to incorporate into Howdy Radio.
Yeah.
And like we've done like an episode or two like where we did incorporate those things into Howdy Radio, but then we just keep going back to this format of just talking. So we might need to come up, maybe we just come up with something different then. Maybe we come up with a secondary show or something that we do something like that, and we can sit here and call it something else or something. I don't know.
Call it the final generation.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
Well, no, because that's how most movies work. It's like you have the original trilogy, then you have like
I
how, like,
hate
Friday
that the name of
13th
this
thing
show
is,
is
like,
a Star Trek reference, by the way, but it sounded really good.
yeah. But like there's like the original like 3 Friday the 13th, then there's A New Beginning, there's like there's always the original trilogy,
and the final
then,
chapter, which
yeah.
is like number 5 of the series.
But Howdy Radio reinvents itself all the time, that if you call this the final generation, I mean you could still have 5 projects after that, but it's just a cool
The
name.
next time it would just be the new generation.
Exactly. Or just 7, or just like you go back to where it's just the title without the word the. Because like usually the first one has the, then it's part 2, part 3, then the reboot is just
Square 3.
The final destination.
yeah.
Yep. All right, we have definitely rambled on long enough at this point. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Check out our 20 new shows that we just came up with doing in the last 5 minutes. That'll never happen.
Yes.
Cool. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
9 Snapchat notifications.
Wow, you're so popular.
When I'm laying in bed, I get 1 every 5 hours. That's funny. I don't understand why I always get so nervous, like when we first start, but I can talk for hours.
Yeah, you do it pretty often.
Hey, I think I added a lot to the
No, you actually
conversation.
did. I was just joking that you talk a lot. Dad,
Hold on. I gotta hit stop streaming.
oh. Could you try to get,
Thanks for watching and stuff.
I stream.